Hello. Just had the insight into a few things, self-realization. You could call it. I just had spent a weekend with Sham Das, who sat at the feet of Neem Karoli Baba, and he, along with Krishna Das, Jai Utah, Ram Das, and people like this, a bunch of Westerners that went over to India in the 70s, seeking spiritual truths and things like these. So I got to spend the last weekend with Sham, and it's really amazing to spend time with such a great bhakti yogi. And as he explains the path of grace and through devotion and love of the beloved, whatever that is to you, is how that you attain God, past enlightenment or liberation, but true yoga, yoking, which I thought was very interesting. It was the second time I've seen Sham Das. I hadn't seen him in a year, and my first experience with Sham Das through kirtan and his teachings, I was extremely ecstatic after we had kirtan and satsang. It was really mind-blowing. I was in a state of ecstasy for about a week after I met him, and it was interesting. I felt as if my brain had been, or my head had been split open, and universal truths were revealed to me. And everybody experiences things differently, but it was foundationally a huge aha moment for me. Like, what is this ananda? What is this bliss? This is amazing. I've never felt anything like this. And when I sit in association with this teacher who is in direct lineage of Neem Karoli Baba, I am experiencing and have experienced these states of utter bhav and bliss that are really undescribable. So it's only in these words that I have a relative ability to describe such an experience. So it was amazing, and another great 3 days this past weekend with Sham, just getting into that devotional state and feeling that love for the higher power that is in my heart. It's just a true heart-warming and heart-opening experience. So paralleling that with the sacred geometry teachings of this month, with the Jiva Mukti focus of the month, and further study into the sacred geometry of our planet, how it's arranged, looking at alternate history theories, pyramids, learning about how other dimensions are formed throughout time and space. Really interesting, interesting knowledge, to say the least. So I was sitting here this morning before I decided to do this video recorder, and I was like, you know, when I first started practicing yoga, I really would have these ecstatic states of bliss. And these states of bliss were amazing. I didn't really know what they were, what sparked them, how they came about, and I wanted more, which led me to continue to practice yoga, because I had been, you know, up until finding yoga and finding bliss naturally, you know, I was experimenting with drugs and all of these things, and you know, I'd find that bliss for, you know, that small amount of time, and then I would be hungover or sketched out or whatever, spooked, you know, for a couple days, few days after ingesting, you know, drugs or alcohol or anything like this, really. So you know, this past weekend with Sham, great experience, but my level of bliss was not nearly as high as it was a year ago. And I started to think about it this morning, and just with the sacred geometry lessons and things that I'm teaching, you know, people that are in my yoga classes now about sacred geometry. I've come up with this kind of realization, and I'm documenting this primarily for my own benefit, that I can look back on this video, watch it, and see what the hell I was thinking about, you know, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years ago, where my state of consciousness was at. So, through yoga, we clean and purify our bodies. We follow the teachings, the yamas and the niyamas, which keep, and the asana, which are part of the yamas and the niyamas, which purify our body, our energy channels, our chakras. They get our energy flowing correctly. So I had the insight that the past experiences of bliss, when I first started practicing yoga, and that energy, you know, didn't really have other places to go besides maybe, you know, into my mind and into my mind, where it would give me these states of utter, you know, drug-like feelings, and strong drug-like feelings, I should say, more intense. So where I was at a level of practicing yoga when I started, I've been practicing yoga for 3 or 4 years now, but this was when I first started feeling the real bliss of it. So I would start here. I felt like I was at this level here, where this was just a level of just being, of just where I was. And then I would experience somebody like Sham Das or something like this, and then that would take me up, and it would increase my consciousness, my bhav, awareness, ecstatic experiences and things like that, and I was here. And then I would come down a little bit, and then I would experience something else, and it would take me up, and then I would come down. But I believe through my own personal self-study, that I have increased to a certain level of consciousness. I mean, no way am I by any means anywhere close to anywhere. I don't know. I say this with utmost humility. Just in terms of my small peons of myself and what my consciousness is. So but I feel as though as through the yoga practice and the purifying of the body and these energy wheels, these chakras and all of these things, and I this is the realization. I'll stop beating around the bush. That I've come to is we are our microcosm that is ourself is the same as the microcosm of the earth, if you will, which is the same, which the earth would be the microcosm to the universe, and then the universe would be the microcosm to something bigger outside of the universe. Or I guess you could say our galaxy would be the microcosm of the universe, and then the universe of something else, and who knows how long that goes on. So the point I'm trying to make is that through tuning our instrument, our body, through yoga and the practices of yoga, and I believe other beings already have this. It's just all flowing well. Others of us have to work really hard for it, and that's me. So so once we are able to start having our energy flow correctly and all of these things through various yoga practice, we start to align ourselves with the same universal principles that are in the macrocosm. So we're aligning ourselves with the universal forces of the earth and things like this, which elevates our consciousness to a higher level. And then we're at this higher level of being, higher level of thinking, where we're consistently in that happy, blissful state at this level. And I think once you get there, and you continue to practice yoga and things like this, you continue to steadily, move up, and then you might move down and things like that. But the interesting thing about Sham that's really sparked this this video is that once you're clear and your body is flowing, the energy's flowing, and you're in connection with everything, and you reach that level, it's only through grace, through divine grace, that further universal truths are bestowed unto you, and you are able to get a peek at that thing. So I'm just recording this as a memoir, personal memoir for myself, and anybody else that may happen to see it, maybe just as a slight hint, take it for what it is, that there is another level of thinking and consciousness that's just right, that's right here around us at all times, and it's really neat, and it may or may not be for you, but that's all I've got today. All is grace.